world of Ter'Ra'Mentia. Today in our class sneak peek series, as we lead up to our September 14th Kickstarter, we're taking a look at the Planeswalker, a class that was born out of our personal campaigns pertaining to an NPC. It's a lot of fun. It's the first finesse-based class that we've looked at in the series so far. We have looked at some other classes that can use finesse as a primary attribute, but this one is mandated. But first, if you're in the Utah area, please come visit us September 21st to the 23rd at our booth at FanX in Salt Lake. We'll be super happy to talk to you. We're going to be showcasing our game. We're going to be selling posters, stickers. We'll have some demo books so people can take a look at what we have, and we'll be happy to discuss it. Now let's talk about the class that is cursed to potentially never die or randomly teleport, but can also make use of those teleports in an effective way. As demons and nether creatures encroach upon the world, you are caught up in the madness. As a bystander of the rifts opening in Ter'Ra'Mentia, your body was cursed by a demon. Although there are many benefits as you learn and grow, you struggle to figure out what was done to you. Will you be damned to wander the planes of existence forever? And will you use these abilities to be a hero? Let's start with level 1, where your base health is 8 plus vitality. This is on the lower side of the scale, but still higher than somebody like the Arcane Scholar. You gain +2 to mana and +2 spirit. Gain the tracking specialization, gain the memory specialization. You gain the bow, longbow, and greatbow specializations, and you get to pick 3 abilities and spells. Finesse is going to be your class attribute, and that will be used to calculate your spirit power. Intellect will be used to calculate your willpower. The 2 key features you get at level 1 are Curse Marked and Planeswalker 1. Let's start with Curse Marked. When your health is reduced below half, randomly teleport 40 feet away in any direction. Roll a d10. This will determine which direction you go in. When your health reaches 0 before taking wound counters, roll a d12. This also has a table of effects that will determine what happens to you, including going to another plane of existence. Now, Curse Mark can be difficult to use if you're not a very advanced game master or player. We recommend not using it in those instances if you're a little bit newer to tabletop role-playing. Planeswalker 1. Once per week, you may designate a 10-foot by 10-foot location you are at as home. Out of combat, perform 10 minutes of meditation to teleport yourself to home. At level 2, you gain Hunter Training 1. Gain +1 to either speed or vitality. The plus to vitality here is obviously useful when having more health for combat situations, but the +1 to the speed can be quite useful to the class, as you may gain damage bonuses and enjoy different perks going first in combat. At level 3, you get Ranger Training 1. Gain +1 to tracking, and you may provide edible plants or small animals as meals during a 20-minute rest for up to 4 people. Level 4 has Adrenaline Rush 1. Gain +2 damage with the weapon you are specialized in and have equipped after teleporting for 1 round. At level 5, you have Ranger Training 2. You may use a bow, longbow, or greatbow as a melee weapon for the cost of 2 action points. This uses the same damage die you would as making a ranged attack with that same weapon. There's also Planeswalker 2. Anyone making contact with you that has a size of medium or smaller during the full duration of your meditation may teleport with you to the place that you designated as home. Now we're going to jump up to level 7, where there's a few different abilities baked into the class, but the one I really want to display here is Preparation. For 1 spirit, after speed is determined, you may add or subtract 3 to your speed. This can play into other abilities that you may pick up along the way. We're going to take another jump now up to level 11, where you gain another key ability, Foresight 1. Before speed is determined, you may teleport up to 40 feet away to a location you can see. Just like Preparation, this starts to add up to different combos that you can do. Now let's look at some of the abilities and spells that the Planeswalker has available to them. Traveler. For 1 mana, you have a greater chance of finding helpful contacts across Ter'Ra'Mentia, gaining +6 to a fast-talking check. You also have Tracker. For 1 mana, gain +6 to a tracking check. Surprise Attack 1. If no enemies are above you in the speed rotation, gain +6 damage to your first attack in the first round of combat. Combat Awareness. 1 Spirit. If no enemies are below you in the speed rotation, you may re-roll your speed before combat starts. Swiftness. 1 Spirit. Once per round, you may spend 1 Spirit instead of 1 action point to swap weapons. Reposition. For 1 action point, you can disengage up to 2 enemies, allowing you to take no attacks of opportunity when moving. There are 2 choices at level 2, Knockdown Attack and Speed Attack. Let's talk about Speed Attack. For 2 action points and 2 Spirit, attack 2 targets that are adjacent to you in melee or adjacent to each other if you're using a ranged weapon. You also gain Reposition, and this ability ignores any reload requirements. Level 3 has some unique ones with Fade Step and Trick Shot. Starting with Fade Step, for 1 action point and 1 mana, teleport up to 30 feet away to a location that is visible. This does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Trick Shot. For 2 action points and 1 Spirit, fire a ranged weapon with a projectile that travels up to 20 feet before making a turn up to a 90-degree angle, then traveling up to another 20 feet to a visible target. This ability plays into your talents as a Planeswalker, making use of small portals for your arrows. Similarly, at level 5, you get Ambush Arrow. For 2 action points and 2 Spirit, use a ranged weapon that you are proficient with to make an attack. The arrow or bolt will travel a minimum of 10 feet before teleporting 10 feet behind your visible target. Add an extra damage die to this attack. Level 5 also has Fade Strike. For 2 action points, 1 Spirit, and 1 mana. Teleport up to 30 feet and make 2 attacks with a weapon. The second attack deals 1/2 damage. This is one of the rare abilities that has a spirit and a mana cost attached to it, but you're really getting a whole lot of value here. Level 7 has Surprise Attack 2. If no enemies are above you in the speed rotation, gain +10 damage for your first attack in the first round. It also has Explosive Trap, Bear Trap, Trap Crafting, Precision Attack. You can forego your movement for 3 action points and 1 Spirit for 1 round to make a precise attack with a weapon you are specialized with. Add 1d12 combat damage. Rapid Fire Attack. For 3 action points and 1 Spirit, make 2 attacks with any bow or crossbow type, regardless of reload speed. At level 9, things continue to ramp up. There is Loner. 1 action point and 1 Spirit. If no allies are within 30 feet of you, add 1d12 combat damage to an attack with the weapon you are specialized with. Displacement. 2 action points, 1 mana. You and 1 ally or enemy teleport up to 30 feet away to a visible location. If an enemy is targeted, they may make a willpower save versus your spirit power to resist. Great Escape. 3 action points, 2 Spirit, and 1 mana. You may use Planeswalker in combat on yourself only. This counts towards your maximum usage of Planeswalker. Planeswalker was our ability that allows us to teleport to a location we designated as home. Forced Teleportation. For 3 action points, 2 Spirit, and 1 mana. You may teleport 1 willing target to one of your home locations in combat. This counts towards your maximum usage of Planeswalker. And finally at level 9, you have the option to pick up Teleport Trap. 2 action points and 1 mana. You toss an ethereal trap onto the battlefield that occupies a 5-foot space. Anyone who enters the space must make an awareness check versus your spirit power or trigger the trap. The target that triggered this trap is teleported in a random direction 20 feet away. At level 12, we have an ability that can be important to players that like to use great bows, crossbows, and hand crossbows. You can spend spirit to reduce the reload cost of those weapons to 0. There's also an ability that can send you on a quest. You obtain an ethereal quiver that holds 10 magic arrows or bolts. These arrows are refilled every day at dawn. When taking this ability, you must choose what type of magic arrows or bolts the quiver holds. This choice is permanent. You may choose cold, fire, poison, shadow, lightning, or arcane. When firing these arrows or bolts from your ranged weapon, the damage is converted to the element you choose. This is only usable by those cursed to wander the plains. The astral quiver is something a player could just get, as it's conjured in from the netherworlds. Or it could be something, when you take it, you discuss with your game master to quest after. The Planeswalker can be a ton of fun in combat and in roleplay. The cursed aspect of you randomly teleporting around can be heaps of fun for people that are open to it. Again, the curse marked, we feel, is an option for advanced players and game masters. If that's not your cup of tea or too hard to manage, certainly forego it. The rest of the mechanics in the class function quite easily and simply. So there's some give and take there. We have a character in our novel and also in our core rule book, an NPC named Jorah, who enjoys this class. He can be found all over Ter'Ra'Mentia doing all sorts of crazy things, and possibly helping your party out. Next week, we're going to take a look at some notable NPCs, get into a little bit more lore and story, as well as another class reveal. So please, if you're in the Utah area, visit us at FanX September 21st to the 23rd, and look for our Kickstarter launching September 14th. Again, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next time in the world of Ter'Ra'Mentia.